Now, it shouldn't take a lot to demonstrate why this secular bias is such a fallacy. In fact, if you look back on just the last 100 years of history, it throws the entire thesis into doubt. We have seen probably the most violent past 100, 150 years in the history of humanity, and that goes by any metric at all. Whether you're looking at conflicts and wars, the wars of World War I and World War II, deserving of their names, were more barbaric and achieved much more casualties than any sort of conflict that was known up until that time. If you want to look at particular regimes, well, we have the Nazis, we have Stalin, we have Mao, we have the Khmer Rouge, we have many to pick from that were secular regimes, and some of them actually atheist regimes that were the most violent that the world has seen. If you want to look at particular massacres, the secular age, the last 150 years, also wins on that account. You have the bombing of Dresden by the Allies. You have, of course, the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You have massacres like the My Lai massacre in the Vietnam War, and of course Fallujah. If you want to look at the technology of it, right, the instruments of war that are being used and deployed on people, you have things such as the atomic bomb, something that poisons the earth, causes birth defects for generations, consequences and things that were unknown. Many of us have seen the consequences of white phosphorus and how it's something that's designed to burn from the skin down to the bone. These are all products of the secular age. They didn't exist before. We have military technology such as napalm, which was literally invented. Scientists got in a room to figure out how to make the fire stick to the skin for longer. This is an outcome of the secular age, not any religious person who came up with this. We see the weaponization of hunger in many places. In Gaza right now, famously in Iraq in the 90s, where Madeleine Albright was asked point blank if the lives of 500,000 Iraqi children were worth it, and she unflinchingly said yes. If you want to make torture your metric, well, that's one that the secular age has run away with Guantanamo Bay and Abu Ghraib and all of the dark sites spread across the world. If anything, secular violence has proven in the last 100, 150 years to be far worse, far more violent, far more abhorrent than anything that the world has seen before. And that the secular individual, the secular nation, the secular actor is perhaps more prone to violence than supposedly the religious fanatics ever were.